This exercise is working on separation. So we're trying to separate our lower half or our legs from our upper half of our body. So for this exercise we are going to use a stick. You can use a golf club or you can just hold on to a wall. It's just something to help stabilize that upper half. So we're going to pop the stick out in front. Okay, so our aim here is to keep our shoulders and upper half really steady. We're going to sit in the golf posture, and then from here we are going to rotate our lower half. So we're going to rotate from the hips. We're going to do 6 of these on each side. Okay, so from here just really focus on making sure that the shoulders stay really steady. So when you're rotating with your hips, your shoulders are not turning at the same time. So you're pressing down into that stick or that object, trying to make sure that that stays really nice and stable. We're trying to create a bit of separation. Okay, so from more square on. So if you do this looking into a mirror, you're going to keep the shoulders really steady. You can look into the mirror and then you're just turning. And then same on the opposite side. So focus on keeping really steady in the upper half and just letting that lower half rotate. So again, this is another separation exercise, but we're doing the opposite. So we're going to keep our lower half really steady, and we're going to rotate from our trunk and upper half. So to make this slightly easier, or to give you more of a feeling of staying stable in the lower half, we're going to use a wall. We're going to pop our bum against the wall. We're going to come into that golf posture. Now you can do this with a stick across your chest, or you can just pop your hands across your chest. So as we rotate our shoulders and upper body, we're making sure here that your bum isn't coming away from the wall. So we're going to do 6 rotations here on each side. So as you rotate through your shoulders, you should feel like your left shoulder going down, your right shoulder retracting backwards. And as you turn to, say, your right side, you should make sure and feel that your left bum cheek isn't coming away from the wall, it's staying nice and stuck to the wall. And then vice versa on the other side. So as you rotate, you're making sure that your bum isn't lifting away from the wall. Those legs and hips are staying really steady. We're trying to just create that rotation from your upper body, learning to separate upper half and lower half so they can work independently. This exercise is to open up your shoulders. So we're going to again use a wall, so we're going to put our back up against the wall. Now you want your back nice and kind of flat against the wall, and then from here we're trying to open up our chest and our shoulders. So we're going to bring our arms up beside us with our elbows bent. So you're in a 90 degrees position with your hands pointing forwards, okay? So aim here, just let your head rest against the wall. Try and keep your back as much against the wall as you can, and then you're going to rotate through your shoulder joint. You're going to get your hands to touch the wall and try and get your forearms flat on the wall, and then you're going to release down. So some people might find that when they bring their arms up and they only get about 3/4 of the way, their back starts to really arch. So if you're quite stiff in your shoulders and you're feeling that, try and make sure that your back stays against the wall, and even if you just come up to your end range, hold for a second and then release down. You may feel as you tire through this exercise that your arms start to fall down the wall. Try and make sure that your arms stay up at that 90 degrees. Okay, so ideally we're going to go for 20 reaches here. You're going to come down and then reach up. Try and get to that 90-90 position where your chest is nice and open, shoulders are really rotating. Again, focusing on making sure that your lower back just stays nice and tight into the wall, not letting your arms fall, and trying to get your forearms as flat on the wall as you can. So if you really struggle with that and you find that really difficult, you can just do one arm at a time. So you can pop your arm up, this is going to be a lot easier, and then just turn, touch the wall, and then release. And do 20 single arm reaches. You may find that one side is a lot tighter than the other. So it's much easier to keep your back tight against the wall when you're doing single arm, but if you're able to do the double arm, and you can do it with good technique without your ribs pushing forwards, without your back coming away from the wall, do the double arm. Otherwise, if you feel really stiff and restricted, just start with single arm and then just build on that. So as you get better, progress to doing the double arm exercise. For this exercise, all we need is a wall. So we're going to stand facing away from the wall. We're going to pop one foot back onto the wall. So if it's my right leg back, my left leg forwards, I'm going to be rotating to my left, okay? So whatever leg is in front, that's the side that you're going to rotate to. Now, what I'm trying to get the feeling of is a tiny wee bit of flex in my front leg, bit of flex in my back leg. What I'm feeling here is I'm trying to push the wall away from me, and I'm trying to push the floor down at the same time, creating a nice feeling in my legs, like my legs are really switched on and active. Now from here, I'm just going to rotate to my left. I'm going to let my arms just hang down, and then from here, nice stable spine, just rotate it around and back. And as I'm rotating into my through swing, I'm trying to keep my legs really steady, but also really using my legs. I'm driving my foot down, I'm driving my foot back. I'm trying to get a nice rotation through my spine without losing that stability. Okay, now we're going to switch to the opposite side. So again, foot against the wall, front leg slightly flexed, getting that feeling of pushing my leg back into the wall, pushing my leg here down into the floor, and then from here, rotate into that backswing motion. So as we're turning, our spine staying pretty stable, it's just rotating. So you're doing about 6 there on each side. This exercise is a half kneeling chop exercise using a band. So I've set down a cushion just for my back knee here, and I've got a band set just directly to the side of me, okay? So it's just one of the light power bands. So from here, I'm going to rest my knee down on the cushion, other leg forward, so I'm in that split position. Now I want to make sure that when I grab on here, there's already a bit of tension on the band, so I don't want to feel like it's slack. Okay, so if you need to, you just move slightly further away. This front leg, you want to try and keep it fairly stable here. So as you chop, you shouldn't feel like this knee's moving side to side, okay? You want to keep that lower half nice and quiet. We're going to grab onto the band here, hold on, just a nice relaxed grip. Try and keep your head fairly steady here, and try and maintain that spine angle, so we don't want you falling to the side as you chop across. And then from here, we're just going to chop across and then release. Now, it may take you a couple of reps until you kind of get into a rhythm. We're trying to make it fairly explosive as we pull across. And you're going to go for 8 reps here, and then you're going to repeat on the other side. So just make sure that as you chop across, that you're not getting that feeling of leaning over to the side. We're trying to just rotate, pull across, and then you can release it slightly slower. But make that nice and explosive as you do pull across there. Okay, so for this exercise, we're going to do a single leg bridge. So we're going to get down onto the floor. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see a bit easier. Now we're going to lie down onto our back. You're going to rest your head on the floor. You're going to keep your knees bent here. Now from this position here, we're going to take one leg into tabletop. So it's about a 90 degrees position. Okay, now we're going to pump up and down with our pelvis by just using the opposite leg. Now by the end of this, you want to feel like your glute muscle and your hamstring muscle are working quite hard, okay? Try and get like a consistent speed going. So it is a bit of like a pump drill. So we're going to do 15 on each leg. So from here, pump up, down. so you notice there, my pace is quite steady, so I'm kind of doing 1 second up, 1 second down. So every 2 seconds I've got a rep done. Now, things that you want to think about is just making sure that your pelvis here stays really level. So when you are pumping up, you're not letting your spine twist, you're not letting your pelvis twist, okay? We're trying to create stability here. So now on the other side, this leg up on tabletop, arms relaxed by your side, and then from here, pump up, down. Squeeze into your glute, squeeze into your hamstring. And keep pelvis nice and level. And try and keep that leg in tabletop. Okay, so once you got both done, that's you finished for now. Now you may feel like you've got one side that feels a lot better control than the